Hello learners, welcome to this online session. Today I'm going to talk about FEG2, which means Foundation Course in English 2, and this is kind of a compulsory course, language course for BCA students or other students who have compulsory language course. And today's lecture will be based on block number 1, unit 1. So where I'll be talking about writing paragraphs. So before I begin, let me give you an overview, or say let me talk about an objective of this course. So when I talk about objectives of this course, so main essential objective of this course is to help you in a very systematic manner to write good paragraphs, and it will give you an understanding and proper detailed in fact understanding, knowledge, skills of how to write a good paragraph. And also by the end of this lecture you will be able to understand and conceptualize how to write well organized paragraphs on your own. Okay, so without depending on other people or other people's understanding, it will obviously help you to organize paragraphs on your own. And also it's going to help you to also understand about the various elements that go into the organization of a good paragraph. So the main essentiality of this lecture is to give you an understanding of all the elements of writing a good paragraph, and basically to give you an understanding of how to write a good paragraph. That's why it's entitled writing paragraphs. Just so, okay, so in detail I'll be talking about various elements of good paragraph. When I talk about various elements, there are as many as 4 basic elements of writing good paragraph. If you really want to write a good paragraph, you need to concentrate on these 4 topics, which may be considered to be called, you can say, elements. So 4 elements of a good paragraph. First element of a good paragraph is the topic sentence, and I'll be talking about each one of these one by one, but let me tell you together. So 4 elements are there. First is the topic sentence. The second element of writing good paragraph is the development of the topic. Third is connection between sentences. In other words, it can be also interpreted as coherence. There has to be a coherence between the sentences when you are writing a good paragraph. And fourthly and finally, the use of transitional devices. I'll be talking about each of these in detail one by one. Okay, so before I go on talking about these elements, and you maybe wondering, you can say what a paragraph is, and most pieces of writing require more than one paragraph. So if you're reading a newspaper, if you're reading a magazine, so you may come across articles, okay, which really consist of not only one paragraph but many paragraphs, and mastering the art of writing a paragraph is therefore very essential to success in any form of writing, whether it's a letter or a report or a newspaper article. And since all longer pieces contain a series of related paragraphs, so it's very important to understand what a paragraph is, and in these longer pieces of writing, be it letter writing or report writing or newspaper article writing, paragraphs generally introduce new ideas to develop the central theme. So central thematic consideration of the paragraph, or thematic consideration of, also you can say, the article. So therefore, to understand the article, it's very important to understand the paragraph also, because one article consists of several paragraphs, and in this unit and in the next unit also, you will get some guidance on writing single paragraphs. So I'll be telling you how to write a single paragraph, and in this unit, to this lecture also, we will discuss the organization of paragraphs and the various elements that make a good paragraph. And after you have developed your skills in paragraph writing, you'll be able to use paragraph very successfully in order to write a long composition. So by the end of the lecture, I'll be telling you also about how to write a longer composition, So to understand about the longer composition, you need to have a proper understanding of how to write a good paragraph. So the first element, coming to the elements of paragraph, the first element of writing a good paragraph is the topic sentence. What do you understand by topic sentence? Any longer piece of writing, is divided into a number of paragraphs, as I told you earlier also. And the question is, what is a paragraph? How do you understand a paragraph? A paragraph, to be frankly speaking, is a piece of writing which is unified by a central controlling idea or theme. So this is very, very important. So paragraph is, unified by central idea, controlling idea, or theme, you can say. So there has to be one, theme of, a paragraph. So the whole paragraph will be revolving around one thematic issue or thematic consideration. And this idea or the theme which I'm talking about, is called the topic sentence. Okay, topic sentence of the paragraph. It is sometimes expressed at some place in paragraph, maybe by one sentence also, which is usually called the topic sentence. So therefore, when we talk about the topic sentence, you should have an idea of the whole thematic consideration, the main theme, the central idea or the controlling idea of the paragraph, which is known as, in other words, the topic sentence. Now, this topic sentence may be, may be written in a variety of forms. It may be written in a statement form. It may be a statement, maybe a generalization, or even it might be a problem. And this sentence is most frequently topic sentence. When I'm talking about sentence, so the topic sentence is most frequently found at the beginning of the paragraph, but not necessarily at the beginning, but mostly it is used in the beginning of the paragraph, but can sometimes come also at the end of the paragraph, or even at times in the middle of the paragraph. So that means that there is no fixity of rule as such as to where the topic sentence is used, but it has been practiced that mostly the topic sentence is used at the beginning of the paragraph, and very often there may not be a topic sentence at all. You might be wondering where the topic sentence is, but at times it so happens that people don't write the topic sentence in the first paragraph, or even they don't mention it at all. So you go on just looking for it, but it may be implied within the paragraph. Somehow it will be there, but it is up to the readers to find out, to locate where the topic sentence is. Okay, because a paragraph cannot exist without having a topic sentence at all. So therefore, the topic sentence of a paragraph plays a very, very important role. And in order to understand a paragraph, you have to understand what the topic sentence is. So by now, I think you must have had an idea that topic sentence means the main central idea, main theme, controlling idea of the paragraph, which has to be written at the beginning of the paragraph. Okay, but not necessarily. It may be used at the end or even in the middle, but mostly it is used in the beginning of the paragraph. Now, when I'm saying that it can be used at the beginning, now beginning a paragraph with a topic sentence helps both the writer as well as the reader. So writer would get an idea of how he should go on, proceed with the paragraph. Even the reader would get definitely a very frank idea of how he should proceed, he or she should proceed about the paragraph. As a writer, you will have very less difficulty in constructing a unified paragraph, because you will relate every sentence to the topic sentence and the central idea it expresses. So therefore, I told you, beginning a paragraph with a topic sentence helps both the writer as well as the reader. So when it comes to helping the reader, your reader will know immediately, just after reading the first sentence itself, after reading the topic sentence itself, he will know immediately what the paragraph is about, because the opening sentence states the central idea. So in this way, we can well understand that beginning a paragraph helps. Beginning a paragraph with a topic sentence helps both the writer as well as the reader. Now, the topic sentence also can be used at the end of the paragraph, you know, and placing the topic sentence at the end or even in the middle is more difficult skill. And the advantage, however, in having it at the end is that all the sentences build up to this topic sentence and the conclusion becomes more effective. So that's the advantage of using the topic sentence at the end, because it really builds up to this topic. All sentences are well connected to build up to this topic sentence, and conclusion becomes very, very effective. Now that was the first element of paragraph writing. Okay, so where we talked about the topic sentence. Now the second element of writing a paragraph is known as developing the topic. Now once you have decided what the topic is, and you have written the topic sentence, because topic sentence gives us a whole idea of the central idea of the paragraph, then you need to develop that topic sentence into paragraph. And in order to develop the central theme, central idea of a paragraph, you have to expand the idea contained in the topic sentence. So once you have decided the topic sentence, you need to expand that idea which is contained in the topic sentence. And this can be done. That means expanded. The whole idea of the topic sentence can be expanded, by adding more information, by adding more explanations, by giving examples, citing examples or illustrations, etc., to the idea expressed in the topic sentence. So we'll be discussing different ways of developing a paragraph in greater details in the lecture where we'll be talking about unit 2. So obviously developing the topic is very, very important to develop the topic sentence. And how do we develop the topic? By making or adding more informations about the topic and the topic sentence, by adding more explanations, giving more examples, giving some more illustrations. Okay, that's the way how you develop the topic. So therefore, the second element, which is develop the topic, becomes very, very important. And when we talk about analyzing the whole paragraph, like once you have decided topic statement, you need to elaborate on the topic sentence. So once it's finalized that this is going to be your topic statement or topic sentence, so that means you are getting an idea of about the what is the main central idea of it, and then you need to elaborate it. Elaborate is obviously elaborating the topic sentence means you are developing the topic sentence. Okay, how are you going to do? By giving illustrations, explanation, examples, and then you can sum up in that manner. Now, when you write a paragraph of your own, choose the topic and write down all that you know about the topic. You have to decide on your own. And as you make your list, don't stop to question whether a detail fits or not. The details that you are going to write about, write about what. And any that can be left out later. So don't think about that, which can be left out later on. And this will help you generate new ideas and also give you something concrete to work on. See that every sentence contributes to the central idea, which may be contained in the topic sentence, because the topic sentence obviously consists of the central idea of the paragraph, and only then will your paragraph have unity. So it's important to have unity also in the paragraph. Now when we talk about having unity in the paragraph or unity between the sentences, it refers to another idea, which is the next element of paragraph writing, which refers to coherence. Coherence indirectly means connection between the sentences. And an effective paragraph requires more than a topic sentence and more than supporting details, and it must also be coherent. Coherent means all the sentences should be, very logically connected, well connected, So that's why coherence is very, very essential. Coherence is very, very important for a paragraph. And in a coherent paragraph, the writer takes the reader very logically and also smoothly from one idea to the next. And the reader must clearly recognize that one sentence logically leads to the next. So therefore, you need to have a connection between the sentences. And that connection, doesn't have to be, just like that. And they have to be logically connected, logically connected, and as if one sentence is logically connected to the next sentence, And in a coherent paragraph, the writer takes the reader very logically, very smoothly from one idea to the next. And another, there is another technique, which really brings about the coherence in a paragraph, which is the use of transitional devices. It is with the help of transitional devices that you bring in coherence, connection between the sentences, and these are, when you talk about transitional devices, what are transitional devices? Transitional devices are, you can say, words or phrases that help a writer move very smoothly from one sentence to the next and show the logical relationship between the sentences. So therefore, coherence is very, very important, you can say, while talking about, paragraph. Now, talking about transitional devices, this is another technique, as I told you, okay, which is used, to bring about coherence in the paragraph, and obviously, I'll be giving you, examples of what these transitional devices are and how they can be used, So transitional devices are, like signposts in a paragraph, okay, and they enable us to follow the writer's line of thought by showing us how one sentence relates to another sentence, okay. Let me give you examples. For example, words and word phrases such as like firstly, secondly, okay, thirdly, fourthly, and even you can use words such as moreover, most important of all. These are the words and phrases, which really indicate, suppose you are using firstly, secondly, thirdly, and fourthly. So 4 points. These are the words which indicate the four main reasons, okay, why something has happened. So in order to explain four reasons, you use these words and phrases like firstly, secondly, thirdly, and fourthly. Similarly, if you want to emphasize on one point, then you can use another phrase which is known as most important of all. That shows that some reasons are more important than other reasons. So these are known as transitional devices. You can use most important of all, to show that some reasons are more important than others. And then similarly, you can use two, T-O-O-2, which indicates that you can say something else is also required. Then similarly is a word which shows the relationship between, you can say, two persons, okay, A and B. So these are the transitional devices, you can say, which are used in a paragraph. And words and phrases that function as transitional devices, are many, for example, to express result. What are the words and phrases which are used to express result? If you want to talk about result, then there are certain words and phrases which are used in the paragraph. For example, therefore is used to give a result. As a result, that's another phrase. Consequently, or thus, or hence, these are the different words and phrases which are used to express result. If you want to give examples, what are the words that you will be using? To give examples, you can use words and phrases such as, for example, for instance, or as an illustration, specifically. So these are the words and phrases which are used as, you can say, to give example. And now if you want to express comparison, what are the words you'll be using to express comparison? You can use the words such as, similarly, likewise, to express comparison. Similarly, if you want to express contrast means, distinction, difference between these two. So how will you be doing that? Contrast. So you can use words such as, yet, still, however, nevertheless. That means this is totally different from the previous, you can say, idea. Okay. On the other hand, Similarly, to express addition, if you want to show some addition, means you want to put in some extra information, then you can use phrases such as moreover, furthermore, also, besides, in addition. So these are the words and phrases which are known as, or which function as, transitional devices, which really give you, a lot of information, and which also help you to develop, paragraph. So in a paragraph, when you talk about paragraph, essentially has, three, components. Okay, obviously three parts. The first, beginning part, the body part, and the conclusion part. So the beginning, when we talk about the beginning part, you can say, so it can be just introductory paragraph, or even the opening, you can say opening sentence also could be part of beginning. Okay. So it can be also understood in terms of composition, as I told you right in the beginning while giving introduction, that I'll be also giving you just hints of how to develop a composition. So composition, each and every composition will have three parts: beginning, body, and obviously concluding part, the third part. So in beginning part, you can simply start with introduction. So introductory paragraph may be considered as the beginning part. Even the topic sentence also forms the beginning part. So that's how the beginning part of the body is. Then there are useful phrases, idea units, which are used, as transitional devices I have talked about. Suppose you want to introduce the subject in the introductory part. So how will you do that? So there are certain ways of introducing an idea into the paragraph. So you can start the paragraph by using phrases such as, the idea of so and so is this, the concept of writing about this is so, or it is often said that so and so, it is often asserted that, it is claimed that. So these are the phrases with the help of which you can start the paragraph, and this will help you to introduce the subject. Then similarly, if you want to organize the ideas, thoughts, how will you do that? Then you can do it through proper, phrases, and those phrases are such as, the first thing that needs to be done is this. It is important to understand this, or I'd like to start with this. I would like to begin or start with this. I would like to outline. Or let us begin with this. So these are the phrases, words with the help of which you can start writing a paragraph. And this can be used in the introductory part. You can see introductory part of the body. Okay. And then the second part is the body part. First is introduction. Second, the body part. So your opening paragraph, really essentially states the topic, and they really arouse interest in or curiosity in the readers, and your concern should be to develop the topic and to concentrate on the use. Now in the body part, what happens is that you develop that topic sentence. Developing the topic, if you remember, I talked about that. So you have to express your thoughts accurately, and you can develop the topic with the help of examples, illustrations, explanations, and so on and so forth. You can build your argument, in fact. So how can you build your argument? You can introduce a topic, then you can introduce a quotation, you can use paraphrasing also, like the main issue is this, the issue at stake is this, and this is the argument. Okay, there is the argument that so and so is having. So this is how you build the arguments, which is the part of the body part. Then you may agree, you may disagree. To agree with certain things, you have to express. You should be knowing how to agree with certain ideas or disagree with certain ideas. If you want to agree with something, then you can start with phrases such as, I agree wholeheartedly with so and so, or it is quite right to say that so, or I agree with this idea. Okay. Similarly, if you don't agree, if you disagree, so in order to express your disagreement, you can use phrases such as, I must disagree with this, or I do not share the view that, or I cannot agree with what you said, something like that. So these are the ways of using transitional devices which may help you to develop the sentence also. Okay. Then you can introduce your own point of view also, okay, by using phrases such as, in my opinion, this is the correct, or my personal view is this, or in my view, or from my point of view, it is my belief that, or I feel that, it seems to me that. These are the ways of introducing your points of view. You can introduce your counter arguments also, various counter arguments into it. So these are the different ways. You can also make use of data also to illustrate, give illustrations. Okay. Okay, transitional markers you can use to give 3-4 points also, like firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly. I already talked about, additional markers you can use. You can express your certainty, you can give comparisons, you can bring in contrast, you can express cause and effect also, as a result or consequence, or therefore, or for this reason. You can give, reason also. So these are the ways of developing the topic. This is how you do that. Now, the final part of this any composition, even of paragraph, is the first conclusion, last one. So how do you conclude? You should be knowing how to conclude a paragraph, or if you're writing composition, you should be knowing how to conclude the composition. So there are again phrases with the help of which you can conclude the paragraph, conclude the article. So you can use phrases such as to sum up, you can use to summarize, then you can begin, or in a brief, in a short, or in conclusion also you can use that as well. Okay. So these are the different ways of developing your topic. So I think today I've talked at length about how to write a paragraph. I started with talking about the topic sentence, then developing the topic you can by giving examples. And I gave you examples of transitional devices, how you can expand the whole topic itself by making use of illustrations, explanations, citing examples, giving your own arguments, making comparisons, and all this. And finally, I told you how you can conclude by using phrases such as sum up, in conclusion, all this. So I think today's lecture has definitely helped you to sort of give you a confidence of how to write a paragraph. And obviously I talked about the 4 elements. Okay, the topic sentence, developing the topic, okay, and obviously coherence, how to bring logicality, and finally conclusion, all these things. Okay, so please go through block 1, unit 1, so that you get a complete idea of what do we understand by paragraph writing. And I hope today's lecture has helped you in understanding and also in answering that question, how to write a good paragraph. So that's it for today. Let's see you in the next lecture. Thank you so much.